You're jolted awake by a piercing emergency alert. Your phone screen glows in the darkness, displaying a chilling message. Stay inside until further notice. No reason, no explanation, just a command. Check outside, nothing but silence. Until you see it, a figure standing still, watching, reaching. Then another alert. Do not make visual contact, but it's too late. What would you do if the world around you started unraveling? If people vanished, strange figures roamed, and the only warning you had was to stay inside? I woke up to the blaring screech of my phone's emergency alert. That piercing sound that usually signals a tornado or a flash flood. But when I groggily opened my eyes and glanced at the clock, 3:12 a.m., I knew something was off. The night was calm, not a storm in sight. The only water issue was the slow drip from my leaky bathroom faucet. The glow of my phone painted my dark bedroom in eerie shades of blue. Squinting, I read the bold, ominous text, emergency alert. Stay inside until further notice. No details, no explanation, no mention of a natural disaster, missing person, or hazardous spill. Just a stark command. My mind was still foggy as I tapped the notification, but there was nothing more, just that same unsettling message. Within seconds, my phone screen dimmed, leaving me alone in darkness again. Outside, through the small gap in my curtains, the neighborhood looked just as it always did, quiet, still, undisturbed. The lone street lamp cast a sickly orange glow over the pavement. A suburban cul-de-sac rarely saw late-night activity. Maybe a raccoon, maybe a distant ambulance siren, but nothing that would justify a citywide emergency alert, despite how bizarre it seemed. I tried to ignore it. I had work in a few hours, and my body begged for more sleep. But the uncertainty nagged at me. What if there really was a threat? Government doesn't just send cryptic warnings for no reason. I checked online. Nothing. People in other states were posting memes and late-night thoughts, oblivious to anything unusual. But those in my city, they were just as confused as I was, posting screenshots of the same alert and asking, "What's going on?" I told myself to shake it off, probably a glitch or an error, but curiosity got the best of me. I crept toward the window and carefully peeked outside. My yard was the same. A beat-up car in the driveway, a wilting birch tree swaying in the breeze. The street, empty. No police, no flashing lights, no indication of an emergency. And then I saw it. A figure stood at the edge of my property, tall, unnaturally still. Something about the way it moved, slow, deliberate, sent a chill through my body. It lifted an arm, almost like it was reaching out. I held my breath. They know I'm watching. Panic clawed at my chest. Maybe it was just a passerby, but why would someone be standing there motionless at 3 a.m.? My mind flashed back to the alert. Stay inside. I stepped away from the window and locked the front door, shutting off the living room lamp. I strained my ears, listening. Nothing. Maybe they left, but something deep inside me knew this was only the beginning. At some point, exhaustion won. I dozed off on the couch. When I woke up, soft daylight was spilling through the curtains. My phone was vibrating. Dozens of messages from friends and co-workers, all freaking out about the alert. Some had even received a second one at 5 a.m., repeating the same cryptic warning, but no one knew why. I checked outside again. No figure, no sign that anything had ever been there. Maybe I imagined it. Shaking off the unease, I hurried to get ready for work. The bookstore wasn't far, just a 10-minute drive. As I hit the road, I noticed something strange. People moving hesitantly, throwing nervous glances around, as if expecting something to happen. At work, my boss Garrett tried to joke about it. "Heard you almost hid under your bed," he chuckled. I forced a grin, but my mind drifted back to that figure. Was it real? Or just a trick of my sleep-deprived brain? Day felt off. Customers whispered about the alert, some claiming they'd seen figures lurking in the night. By 3 p.m., a new rumor spread. People had been found wandering the highways, unresponsive, their skin pale as if they'd been pulled from a morgue. Then my phone buzzed again. Emergency alert. Remain inside. Lock windows and doors. Avoid visual contact with unknown individuals. This time, it was more specific. Unknown individuals. My blood turned cold. I wasn't imagining things last night. City's emergency sirens wailed, a sound I'd only ever heard during routine tests. Customers in the store gasped, some frantically calling family. Outside, the sidewalks were clearing. People were rushing indoors. And then, I saw them. 2 figures walking along the far sidewalk, tall, moving strangely, like each step was a conscious effort. Their skin, was it pale? Or were they wearing white? My heart pounded. Don't look directly at them. Garrett and I made a decision. We locked the doors. A few customers huddled in the back, afraid to go home. The news played on a loop, but there were no answers, just warnings. Then, Garrett's phone rang. His wife, sobbing. The neighbors, they're screaming. There's something in the yard. And just like that, I knew. We were no longer safe. The dog barked wildly at the window, then whimpered and bolted under the bed. She barely had time to register the sound of footsteps on the porch before locking herself in the bathroom. Minutes passed, and the footsteps faded. Garrett pressed a shaking hand to his mouth, his eyes welling with tears. Stay put. Lock every door, he told her. The call crackled, bouncing in and out. Then she whispered something chilling. She saw a silhouette in the driveway, its arms too long, its body unnaturally still. The call dropped. Inside the bookstore's back room, the air was suffocating. Customers and I watched as Garrett sank onto a box, his face pale. None of us held onto illusions anymore. Something terrible was happening outside. The power flickered. If it went out, we'd be in complete darkness, defenseless. I rummaged through the store's emergency kit, finding only one flashlight and a few dim battery-powered lanterns. We kept the TV on low, occasionally peering out the window. The streets were eerily empty, yet shadows moved between cars and doorways. At 9 p.m., an emergency alert buzzed on my phone. Shelter in place. Do not engage. Avoid eye contact. Naomi, an older woman among us, sobbed. We're sitting ducks, she whispered. We had little food, just vending machine snacks and bottled water. The news anchor, exhausted, repeated the same warnings. Reports flooded in, tall, silent figures, some appearing human, others grotesque. People who got too close either disappeared or were found catatonic. By midnight, I nearly screamed when a face pressed against the window. By the time I dared to look again, it was gone, leaving only a foggy imprint. We have a visitor, I whispered. Tamara, a young woman in our group, swallowed hard. Why aren't they breaking in? No one had an answer. At 2 a.m., the power went out. We barricaded the hallway. Then, footsteps. A soft, scratchy voice spoke from the other side of the door. Hello. Please, I need help. We hesitated. Was it a trick? A long silence. Then trembling, the voice said, I know Garrett. I saw his name tag before. Please. Garrett's eyes widened. Against our better judgment, we let him in. We found the front window shattered, the door wide open. Garrett bolted from the car, calling his wife's name. The rest of us followed. Inside, the living room was ransacked. Marissa, Garrett's voice cracked. No answer. We searched the rooms, our footsteps crunching over broken glass. In the hallway, we found smeared footprints, too long to be human. The bathroom door at the end was locked from the inside. Garrett banged on it. Silence. He forced it open. The room was empty. A small window above the sink was shattered outward, shards glittering on the tile. A single wet footprint remained near the window. Garrett slumped to the floor. She's gone. We led him outside, the weight of uncertainty pressing on us. Did they take her? Did she escape? We had no answers. With nowhere else to go, we drove off. First, we needed Naomi's medication. Then, we had to find safety. Naomi's apartment, Everything was eerily quiet. She rushed inside while Sam and I stood guard. Across the hall, a neighbor's door was torn off its hinges, furniture overturned. No sign of life. Naomi emerged, clutching a small bag, eyes wet. "I got it. Let's go." As we reached the ground floor, a moan echoed. Her figure crouched over a lifeless woman. My flashlight revealed its twisted limbs. It turned toward us and hissed. We ran, slamming the exit door shut behind us. The city was crumbling. Helicopters spun out of control, dragged down by unnatural shapes. Emergency alert blared. Avoid eye contact. Stay indoors. That night, we found temporary refuge in a roadside motel. But safety was fleeting. In the morning, we reached the military barricade. Relief washed over us until I noticed the grey creeping up my ankle. I don't want to die. I won't tell them. Maybe there's a cure. Maybe. I still have time, the alert said to avoid eye contact. But what happens if you look? Would you risk it to find out? Let me know in the comments. And if you love creepy stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because at Creepy Hive, the terror never sleeps.